Hey everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row. I am Austin Ward, joined for the first time in the virtual film lab or any film lab at Lettermen Row for BuckIQ by former Ohio State star, Rimington Trophy winner, first round draft pick Billy Price. Billy, hope everything is going well for you down there in Cincinnati and you're staying safe. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys having me. Staying safe, keeping the social distancing at a premium, and making sure the wife is happy.
We've all got to do that right now. And I was kind of, I've been curious how all these guys are handling training. And I know, for you, for any offensive lineman, for Josh Myers, as he tries to, go chase a Rimington Trophy of his own, it seems like it's got to be the hardest position maybe in football to stay in shape, to, you're hitting somebody in every play. You can't touch somebody right now. How does an offensive lineman get ready for the season right now?
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. Again, we're so used to lifting weights. We're so used to pushing sleds, pulling things, pull-ups, et cetera. And those are all things that we don't have access to right now. So you got to get creative. Again, I was bench pressing dog food bags a couple of weeks ago, pulling weighted coolers and doing just different things you can do. But the big thing right now is, again, movement patterns, finding yourself in good routines to keep your muscles stretched, fresh, and to continue to just build longevity for the season, because your workload right now might be little, but as soon as I know for a fact, as soon as the bands and stuff are going to be lifted, it's going to be full throttle.
And the guy right there in the middle, as you know, there's so much scrutiny all the time at Ohio State, and that center position, whether it was Urban Meyer or Ryan Day, the apex and all those, the importance of that role, you handled it so well. Pat Elflein before you, Michael Jordan, and now Josh Myers is kind of taking that torch. Just from a big picture perspective, as somebody who's done it, what makes him a good fit for that role for the Buckeyes?
Obviously, you've got to be calm, cool, collected, and you've got to be a leader in that room. And I know Josh is exactly that person. I'm still part of the group chats, and I get to see his leadership again, making sure guys are on time, making sure they're accountable. And the other aspect of, again, you watch him on Saturday afternoons, and his physicality. Again, he's a north and south kind of guy. He's a tough, rugged, blue-collar kind of guy, and that's the kind of person I know that Coach Day wants to be the apex, and I know that that's what was expected with Coach Meyer.
Yeah, he's obviously put that on film 1 year as a starter in the bank. Got a specific drive there for Billy Price to break down and give us his insights right here on BuckIQ. Let's roll the tape. All right, Billy, you recognize this offense, this rivalry, this field right here, and what it's like to play. Here's what Josh Myers looking at, a key drive for Ohio State there in that rivalry game. What is it that stands out to you about this guy as he, pushes the pile and gets going here?
Yeah, I think the first thing is we look here at this play, again, you start picking up some tendencies at Ohio State's offense. 3-by-1 formation going into the field. And, again, it's something you've got the running back offset to the weak side, being able to run a read option play, line sells to the wide zone to the left, QB reads the backside defensive end. And the main thing with this is you see that front side wave continue to make that wide zone element, and you see Josh Myers up on the linebacker again, and he's going vertical. He's square to the line of scrimmage. He's giving the running back, if the running back were to get to that second level and follow him, a two-way go. And it's impressive. You see, boom, right there as he makes contact, he's got a good base under him. He's driving forward. I mean, again, it's the physical nature of who Josh Myers is.
Yeah, that's getting 6 yards downfield. I think that's pretty much the dream scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 2nd and 4. Hey, they flipped the sides of the field. I guess we must have gone over a quarter here. I didn't even remember how we queued these up, but we'll adjust here and try and keep it going for you. So you've got these situations, Billy. 2nd and 4 seems like a dream for any offensive lineman.
Oh, absolutely. 2nd and 4. You're teeing it up right now. Again, the defense has a pretty good understanding that, again, you're probably not going to be throwing the ball, and if you do, it's going to be a short little pass, something little rinky-dink action. But in this case, again, we're running the ball. Again, you've got Thayer Mumford, Jonah Jackson, Josh Myers, Wyatt Davis, and Brandon Bowen on that offensive line. It's a pretty good chance you're going to get that first down. So as you see here, 3-by-1 formation again to the field, running backs on the same side as the 3-by-1 formation. But the big thing, again, they're selling tight zone, or it's another read option element as well, and you're giving it downhill. And 2nd and 4, again, I'm Justin Fields. Do I want to try to beat that safety that's rolling down, or that linebacker that's kind of triggering in on the top there, or am I going to hand the ball off and give it to those 5 hogs to make sure that they get that first down? And you've got J.K. Dobbins. That's 6 elements that are pretty darn good right there. I'm going to hand it off, which leads you into the 3rd and 1. Ohio State goes under center. Everybody for the last 6 or 7 years.
Begging for it.
Probably. I'm sure my grandmother would know what's going to happen at this point. And again, going under center. Again, those three interior hogs right there, Jonah, Josh, Wyatt, it's going to be first down all day long. So you see there, again, you see Josh Myers firing off right there, Wyatt Davis on a double team to the nearest threat. And the goal is to get Justin across that line. If your quarterback's on your back and you're past the first down line, it's a good day.
First down.
First down, keep the drive going.
Remember when everybody was begging for you guys to go under center more? Like that? I'm glad we don't have to have those.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to have those debates anymore. And it's I wish I would have learned it earlier. I can tell you that.
It still worked out for you guys just fine. All right, so here you go. Here's that look. You got the first down. You're starting to move the ball, trying to get into plus territory. What's the situation here, Billy?
So we got 1st and 10. Again, you got double tight end into the boundary, which makes it, again, you've got number 97 defensive end, which is the read key. Tight zone again. And for me, 1st and 10, you can kind of do whatever you want. If you want to do some trickeration, if you want to do some wide zone action, tight zone action. And you're starting to see, again, this is the same drive. You're starting to see the offensive line start moving people against their will, and it's a good deal. So, again, Justin's reading number 97. Josh Myers, if I do remember in this play, he got beat a little bit, but he finishes the guy right there, and JK's able to bust through that tackle for what it seems to be a 4 to 5 yard gain right there easily. Again, and that just goes to show the motor that Josh has got. Again, even though he gets beat, he's still pushing the pile, trying to make sure his guy doesn't influence or tackle the running back on that play. Again, that's who your apex is supposed to be.
When you talk about just moving from guard to center, Billy, when did you really start feeling comfortable? Josh Myers has talked about this where he, didn't know the pass protection part. He wasn't sure how comfortable he was going to be with all that until really he got out there. When did the light come on for you where you're like, okay, or did you have any moments where you kind of doubted that at center?
So for me, it was going into my junior year. Pat was playing center, but for me, even when I'm playing guard, and whether I'm playing guard in the NFL right now, or if I'm playing guard, because this past season I played both left and right guard in multiple different weeks and just an array of different places. But you have to be accountable because you have to understand all the positions and understand how everybody it pieces together. Mm-hmm. So again, my junior year playing with Pat, if something happened with Pat, I was the guy who was sliding over. Right. And there was somebody else who was going to come in and replace me. So I felt very comfortable with that. You start learning the plays, the calls, what elements are going to cause certain calls. And it further helped me again, as I went to the NFL, it was a situation it's second nature. Yeah. You don't get drafted just to play center. You get drafted to play interior offensive line. Tackles, they get drafted. You play both left and right tackle, unless you're a franchise left tackle, guys like Taylor Lewan, Andrew Whitworth, some of those kind of guys that, hey, I'm a left tackle and that's what I am. So going into my junior year, and again, I think it's anybody on the interior, especially people that I have played with, that was the expectations for you to be able to flip sides, mentally understand what you're supposed to do, even though physically it's a whole nother element.
Yeah, I think that some of that was Josh Myers had talked about that right before last season, and how ready he was for it, but also the pressure that comes with that, because he'd walk through the hallway and see the Rimingtons that you and Pat won, and that drives home the responsibility that guy has, not just to his teammates, but then the tradition of the position. It's really fascinating how, because centers don't generally get credit unless they've done something, or they're not going to get the attention unless they've done something wrong, right?
Yeah, you're kind of you're like a quarterback. You live and die by the sword, and either you're right and you're the hero, or excuse me, you're right and you're the guy that nobody really knows about, or you're wrong and people are coming after you. But yeah, back to some of these plays. I know we skipped a couple different ones. So let's run this one because I know it's red zone time.
Yeah. Make your money on the offensive line here.
Yeah, it's red zone time, man. It's, again, we're on the 15-yard or the 10-yard line right now. When you're within the 20, there's only one idea and there's only one right mentality, and that's to make sure you're scoring and getting points, to make sure that you're putting the offense in the best place possible.
All right, so here's your situation, Billy. We got you caught up now, 2nd and 8 on the 10, money down. Center's got to get things right. And as you said beforehand, like Michigan threw some kind of funky looks at it. This seems, what is the center looking at to check and make sure that you guys have the right scheme going here?
So something that I learned in the NFL was you have to understand personnel groupings and understand, okay, hey, in this situation, they got a 3-by-1 formation going into the boundary. There's 2 tight ends, so they're probably going to be in a base personnel with 2 tight ends. Again, you're going to have your traditional, whatever your base traditional is going to be, 3 linebackers, 2 linebackers, whatever the case is. That's how they correspond. So in this case, again, they're running just a basic. To me, it seems like they're running an over defense, and you've got 2 linebackers. So again, you're knowing your traditional calls are going to be there. You don't have to worry about a spinner or I think that in what Michigan called was a viper or any of these other elements. Is just what a traditional defense is going to look like. So makes it easy. It kind of takes one layer of stress off, and especially in the red zone. And there's different tendencies within different parts of the field. So in this case, all right, he's making a basic call. To me, it looks like they're going to be selling action to the right to the boundary, and I believe this is the play that Justin Fields is a bootleg.
Yep.
I'll let you play that a little bit. Yep. So it's a boot, and Justin gets into a situation. He doesn't have anything. Flips it to Jeremy. Correct.
Yep.
Flips it to Jeremy real quick. Keep the chains going. Positive yardage. Which again, for an offensive lineman, I'd rather take positive yardage than take a sack or get backed up, because then it makes it harder on the field goal. And the end goal of this is to come away with 7 points.
Right. What you're trying to do here, got that
Yes.
3rd and 4. It helps to have this guy number 2. You said that before. Like you got to have some help from those guys in the backfield, but it's that relationship. You can't have one without the other, but he can sometimes make a little bit more out of it. Whatever you block it, he can get you a little extra, which might be the case here.
Yeah, so that's the case. And again, running wide zone, which is what they're doing here. 3-by-1 formation to the field. You got Jeremy on the front side. In the NFL, we always say the running back makes you right. So the best thing about this is you see this entire play from Jeremy, Brandon Bowen, Wyatt Davis, and Josh. It's just one giant wave working together. And what you see, Jeremy comes to the edge. He gets his tight end. He hits the guy. He goes inside, but he finishes. Brandon and Wyatt, they're on a scoop block, picking up the 3 technique. They pick up the linebacker coming over top number 2, as Brandon does, but Brandon finishes. So as you see, again, that linebacker's getting hit. Jeremy hits him. The guy goes back inside. Jeremy continues to finish. Bowen's picking up the 3 technique with Wyatt. And then all of a sudden they finish up to number 2 out here. And the next thing you know, it creates a giant lane. And JK has to make one guy miss coming from the backside, and it's a walk-in touchdown.
Yeah, get it in there. And let me ask you this, Billy, before we wrap up. So you take Josh Myers here. He gets a couple yards downfield. He's got his block engaged. Eventually, Michigan gets off of it, but by then it's too late. So it doesn't look like, to me, it's the best block in the world. It's certainly not a pancake, right? But it's probably going to grade out positive, right? Is there anything that you downgrade here just because, you don't have to put them in the ground every time, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Right, but you want it to make an effective block. If you can reverse it just a little bit to where he first engages with the guy. He's staying square, looks good, a little bit right there. You see his left elbow?
Mm-hmm.
If he can get that under the breastplate, under the middle part of the shoulder pad, keep that elbow tight, continue to drive, and let the guy go where he may, usually in a situation like that, your running back's going to make you right, and that's the only thing I could critique with that. That's something, again, we focused a lot on. I had a great offensive line coach and Frank Pollock, who's now with the Jets, and that was one of his key points on wide zone. Get your backside elbow underneath, drive the guy, continue, and you continue to go vertical and continue to displace that guy, because the running back makes his job a lot easier.
Yeah, and then have J.K. Dobbins and Justin Fields behind you. That helps.
Yeah, there's some freak athletes in the back.
All right, that is more insight than I think I can even process from Billy Price. We took this drive, a key touchdown, another win in the game. Billy only knows what it's like to win gold pants, so he can't relate to anything else. Appreciate him jumping in here to break down offensive line play as Josh Myers gets ready to come back for another season at center. Billy, thanks, man.
Not a problem.
All right, this has been BuckIQ. I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and we got BuckIQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.